Tom and Ollie's Big Kids Club. 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 Tom and Ollie's.
Hello, I'm Tom.
I'm Ollie.
And we're old enough to know better.
Yeah, and this is our very first episode, so other way to do our first episode, but to talk about our favourite franchise, one of them.
Franchise, characters.
And that is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
I like turtles.
So Tom, tell me about how you got into Ninja Turtles.
Well, it's around the boom of when we were kids, everybody was mad into the Turtles.
What do you think? What was before it? What was the big?
What was the big thing? Oh, I'm going to really embarrass myself here.
I think in the UK, I think it was Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters. See, you're mad into your Ghostbusters. Loves Ghostbusters. I wasn't massively into the Ghostbusters. I do appreciate them. I was into Care Bears when I was really young.
Fair enough.
Yeah, and Cyril Sneer and all that. But
hang on, that was the Raccoons.
Raccoons as well. Yeah.
Had the best theme song. Well, no, was it theme song or closing credit song? Anyway, it was wicked. It's had that proper I
remember it being another very dark.
Come with us. We got candy. I can't sing.
No.
Come with us, we are free. Very good.
But yeah, I got into the Turtles around the same time as everybody else. I think did at school. But it was Christmas when I got my first set of Turtles, and it was my dad. He waited outside Toys R Us in Birmingham Town Centre till about 6 a.m. He was a lorry driver and sat in his lorry waiting outside so no one else would get them because they were the hot item that year.
Punched everyone out of the way.
And I got my Turtles, and I've been in love with them ever since. I mean, whenever I used to go to the dentist as well, I'd get a new one of these. I've never had the completed set, but I managed to.
I had these, but I don't even know where you got them from.
I don't.
I'm sure they were mail-aways through some sort of Tetley or something.
Wallis International.
Oh no, I tell you what, I reckon I got them from newspapers.
I think you might be right, you know. But I remember getting one every time I went to the dentist. That and a little, the little 1-inch badge.
I used to just get a sticker.
Yeah. Turtle sticker.
I don't know. Something. Yeah. He-Man. I definitely had He-Man stickers.
He-Man sticker.
Or Masters of the Universe, if you have to be.
Or Masters.
Correct. Just Masters. That's toy powered.
Yeah.
It's got
reference those guys.
Right. Yeah. So I got into them. Again, I don't even know how I kind of got into them. Just through the playground. One of my best friends, Robert Kenyon, just started talking about these turtle characters, and we just started playing them in the playground. And then next thing I knew, it was on TV. And every time I'd go around to my nan's house, they were always on. Had to, wade through all the bullshit like Dogtanian and all that kind of stuff. And then finally, Turtles would be on. And then next thing you know, there's toys out. So you have to try and get the toys. And my sister, they came out in Woolworths, I remember, and everyone had them at school. And they were like, I was like, where'd you get them from? And Woolies, and I'm like, what's Woolies? Obviously I knew what Woolworths was. They kept saying Woolies, and I was like, what's Woolies? So I kept going, Mom, can you please get me a turtle or whatever?
Can we go to Woolies?
Yeah, I don't know where Woolies is, even though I knew what Woolworths was.
Yeah.
So my sister went, she went, which one do you want? I'm going to go and get you one today. And I said, any, I don't care, I just want a turtle figure. She came back with Shredder, and I was like, I think I was wounded. I was mortified.
What about Shredder says turtle?
I know.
Yeah.
I love you, Leonora, but you did buy me a Shredder. But anyway, I think he went back to the shop, and I never actually owned Shredder until probably about a few months ago when we went to the Comic-Con.
Yeah.
But the first, I've got a lot of family in America, and my aunt and uncle, Lindy and Ed, they found these two and sent me Michelangelo and Donatello, and they were my first Turtles. And then once I was quite poorly as a kid with asthma and stuff, and I did really well one year. And my mum bought me Raphael. She met me after school, and I saw she had a Woolworths bag, and I could just see that.
Do you know what that
card
is?
Art,
your heart starts going, you start sweating.
It's just that card art with the purple and pinky.
There's something
bricks
about that artwork, isn't there?
And then my nan was awesome. She bought me Leonardo. But I was quite lucky when I was a kid as well, like because obviously I had a family from America. Every so often I'd just get a package and it would have like a wacky wind-up Raphael or the Donatello that could swim in the bathtub. That never really just sank.
That one.
So yeah, other than just sending me turtles, my aunt and uncle would send me t-shirts as well.
Right, okay.
So the very first Turtles t-shirt I got was this, which is most definitely a knockoff.
And I don't think it's going to fit anymore on.
No, I don't think so. Look a bit,
That's amazing though, look at
goes to
that.
Hollywood if I put it on. It smells a bit musty, whatever. But yeah, it's it's not a proper bootleg.
But it's cool, isn't it? Because like even though it's a bootleg, it's like the actual comic book.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah.
But then they up their game. And
do you want to have a look at that?
So they sent me this one, which I actually love. The artwork on this t-shirt.
Max, I think this one might fit you, dude.
Might do.
Sorry, we've got an intruder into the set. Oh, come here, dude. Up you come.
This is our mascot.
This is the mascot, Max. We got you a t-shirt, mate. What do you reckon? No. Yeah? It's not bothered.
Teenage Mutant Ninja.
I had that t-shirt.
Did you?
No.
Yeah, it's a bit dirty though.
See, I love the artwork. Is that a bootleg again?
No, this is legit.
No, look at that. You can see that's official.
But yeah, like obviously, like most kids were probably out playing football and stuff like that. I'm sure you're a bit like me, a bit of an indoor kid.
I wasn't much into my football.
No, I just spent my time doing what now were really bad drawings of the turtles. So these are from my nan's collection.
So this was last week?
Yeah, last week, yeah. So there's one of the Secret of the U's.
Let's have a look. They seem to have acne.
They do. Well, they did have those little weird spots. I don't know, there's some... I'm guessing they're based on the toys.
Let's have a little look.
Got some more movie-based ones.
I wonder, what's
Drawn on
this?
hedgehog paper. That's important. Because as a kid, you just draw on whatever you...
Yeah, everything,
See,
walls.
That's McDonald's themed paper. Fridays.
Wow. I don't know if you can see that.
There you go. I even signed that with my full name for some reason, even though I hate my middle name.
You have what's your middle name? Ivan.
Yeah.
Ivana.
I like how Donatello's got a light bulb on his head, above his head.
He's always having ideas though.
Always having ideas. I remember my nan used to hang this up by her key, where she hung her keys.
How old were you when you did this?
I would have been 34. No, I was probably about... Never noticed that.
To be fair, I still can't spell turtles, but we're looking at the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Turtles.
Yeah,
No?
so another bootleg edition.
What a dickhead. Yeah, I was probably about 6 when I did that.
Amazing though.
Oh, it's rap. It's not even RAF, it's rap.
I thought you'd done Nike skateboards then, but it's
No,
Mike.
Mike.
I remember like when I got my turtles, one of my strongest memories of being a kid is being in the garden, and my mum, she was making Sunday dinner and all the like family were around the house, and she was giving me all the peelings off the potatoes and all the sprouts, and gave me a washing up tub outside, and that was my sewer. Just spud peelings and bits of shit.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Actually, do you remember? So I could never afford, but we never had like the sewer play set. But I remember Blue Peter did like a sewer play set. You can make yourself like a Dick Tracy Island when they did that.
Yeah, I remember that.
Making my own of that. And I found the video, but when I found it, someone had taken it down, so it was just that like YouTube video of like.
Just a
this
static.
has been taken down. Like, to watch Anthea Turner.
Do you know what? I don't think I could make it still. I could never make any of those things. I'd always end up just with a pile of paper mache in a ball.
Well, like they always made it so you could put your turtles on the top, but they'd cut away that much of the cardboard that when you put the turtle on top, the top would just like collapse. Like it'd just be like this. But,
yeah, my nan was absolutely crackers. Real character. She like if you went round her house, she used to collect like loads of weird stuff. You'd have like porcelain dolls, like the whole like wall would just be covered in knickknacks. But she used to collect 5p's and 10p's, and when the jar would be full, she'd go, right, Tom, here you go, we're going to the toy shop. And there was the choice.
I bet they fucking loved you in that toy shop.
Oh man.
Here you go.
Like my nan didn't give a shit. She was like, right, we're going down, here you go. I think she even knew the people in the toy shop. It was in Bourneville on the Green, and they used to do like metal figures, like the proper old school toy soldiers and everything. But at the back, I always remember looking through and you'd see the artwork that you were on about, and I'd be like, right, yeah, I'm gonna get myself a turtle. And gradually, I got a little collection. Not in the best condition anymore, because as every toy collector knows, like your toys from when you're a kid, they're not ones to go on the shelf.
I don't consider myself a toy collector, but I've slowly started to become one.
Neither did I until the shelves started getting full.
But like all my old turtle toys, they were played with, man. They were like, you know, the bandanas are broken off, all the paint scuffed off them, or their belts are like missing parts. But if I was ever to have a fire and I was to save 4 turtle figures, it were my original ones from when I was a kid. Even though Michelangelo's got an old Donatello belt from another figure that I kind of cut apart to kind of makeshift into a Michelangelo.
But you do that sort of thing as a kid, don't you? I remember, like, I look at some of, because I managed to pick up like old Star Wars toys at boot sales when I was a kid, and even then I look, because I love Star Wars as well. All from the VHSs at my uncle's house that he used to have on the side. But I'd draw on them and trash them, and it'd be like, I know for a fact I had like box Star Wars figures that I got from boot sales, and I'd rip the boxes. But yeah, you're a kid, aren't you?
Toys are meant to be played with. I mean, I don't think I'm a collector, but I'm definitely not a mint-on card collector, because I like posing them and displaying them and stuff.
Yeah,
you know, I've seen
people. There's nothing better than being able to get like.
It's cool
seeing, isn't it?
It's cool seeing like people's collections where it's all mint on card, but it looks like a shop. Do you know what I mean?
It does, doesn't it?
It's like, I don't know, man. I like seeing them, and they're a bitch to dust and clean, but
and they do go sticky if they're old enough.
So anyway, we've already touched a bit, but like obviously it started off as a comic book in like '84 by Kevin Eastman and Peter Lard.
Peter Lard, sorry.
And obviously it started off as a black and white comic book, and it was, you know, a bit more violent than we're used to these days. They've all got red bandanas.
Or look a bit like Raphael.
And again, this was probably a bit before our time, because I wasn't even 1 when this came out. You probably weren't even born.
I don't think I was born.
Were you born?
Of 1985.
So yeah, this is 84. So
84.
Yeah, I was at late 83. But yeah, I love the artwork in these books. Like,
I'm still yet to buy one of these, and like we're doing the podcast on it now, and I think I rightly should, really. But I have skipped through some of your copies.
The problem with it being black and white, because I love them with the red bandanas, but the problem is, because it's black and white, every person who talks, they have to say the person's name that they're talking to, because obviously you can't tell. Unless that you can see their weapon in their hand, you don't know who's who. But there's some great stories in here though, man. Like the very first one where they actually kill Shredder in the very first issue, which is very similar to how they have.
But what was you say? Because these guys were very influenced by Daredevil, weren't they, as well?
Yeah, Daredevil. So
you've got the foot, and it's what were the?
So it was the hand.
The hand, yeah.
Splinter. Then you have what's his stick in Daredevil and all that kind of stuff.
Pretty genius, to be fair. To just
So obviously we weren't exposed to that comic book. But my cousins, who were like mad into comic books in the 80s, and they first showed me this one, which I think is like, it's got like issue 3 onwards. My cousins first showed me this when you think you know what the Turtles are, this is what the Turtles are. It's quite violent, and so I was like quite intrigued by it, and I stole it from my cousins, and they never got this back again.
I remember thinking there was only one character of the Turtles on there because of the red bandanas.
Yeah, bandanas. I personally prefer all red bandanas.
Really?
Yeah, So these are basically the black and white ones, but coloured versions of it.
Because as a kid you want colour, don't you?
Oh yeah. But yeah, I just love these books, man. Yeah, got Triceratons, no?
I was going to ask you I've got the figure out there. Or no, I've got the gun out there because they sold Trag to me.
Yeah. And then you've got the Krang's are actually good guys in this.
Right.
Where are they? They're in here somewhere. But I'm not sure what they're called. Like again, like I'm a Turtles fan, but I'm not a Turtle aficionado. I'm not. I couldn't do
because if anyone watches this and they're massive Turtles fans,
Feel free to correct us.
Correct us, or
But
please don't berate us. Correct
the
us.
comic books that we mostly grew up with were like this kind of thing.
Which is a lot more child friendly, a lot happier on the front.
Yeah.
And what were you saying? This art style is the way it's been printed.
It's dot matrix.
Dot
the old
matrix.
kind
That's it.
Well, the old way they did comic books. Look, you can see, like, as a kid, I drew the band down. But you can see as well where I've traced around it and stuff like that, like trying to perfect my Ninja Turtles.
But that's the Turtles to me. I know it originated with the Peter Laird comics, but this is where I stepped into the Turtles, and it will always be.
I think,
who was it that printed these as well?
I don't know. I know Archie did their own versions in America where they it kind of was more like the cartoon.
I mean, if you look at the comparison between, let's have a look at that one. These guys, they're all smiling, happy. These look like they'd kick the shit out of you.
They would. Look at them, man.
Yeah.
So this is actually like a version of the very first 6 episodes of the cartoon.
Right. Okay.
Which brings us to the cartoon, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, the one thing we'll say about the cartoon is it hasn't aged well.
No, it hasn't. Yeah, some of the animation's a bit ropey. Some of the voices keep changing. So sometimes Raphael will sound like Donatello, or Michelangelo sound like Leonardo. For like.
It does feel like you're becoming schizophrenic when you're watching it, doesn't it?
It's unstable. It's a good thing none of us tried that stuff.
So obviously in the UK it's called Hero Turtles here, and nunchucks were like banned for some reason. Like obviously stabbing weapons weren't.
No, you're all right to have a giant knife or a sword.
A broomstick.
Yeah.
You can't have chucks with like a little.
What did they think that kids were gonna do? Like break a broom handle in half, then have the knowledge of how to.
And obviously ninja was not banned but frowned upon in the UK because I think, correct me if I'm wrong, internet, but ninjas aren't honourable. Like obviously if it was Teenage Mutant Samurai Turtles they'd be a bit more honourable, but ninjas were like killers, weren't they?
I know they're sneaky.
Yeah, but they're supposed to be like the hitmen. They were like the lowest of the low kind of. But obviously Ninja Turtle just sounds cooler. So I think in the UK we changed to Hero because Ninja had like a bad connotation, so it became Hero Turtles.
Right, yeah, that makes sense.
So yeah, you can get a better version of this. Like you can get like a big box set. I think it's in the shape of the party wagon. It's got every single episode on it. So this is like the first 2 series. I watched the first 6 episodes yesterday, and it did bring back nostalgia of going to my nan's and watching it like after school, or watching it on Going Live with Philip Schofield.
Was it Going
Sarah
Live?
Green.
I was thinking Live and Kicking.
No, that was afterwards.
Oh, was that afterwards?
Yeah, that used to have like Spider-Man cartoons and
amazing.
The X-Men and stuff. But yeah, this has got a few episodes as well from because it's run for like 10 years almost.
Yeah, because when did it run from? So it came.
Well, it was created originally just to sell these. It wasn't created for any other reason.
And it did a really good job of selling them.
Oh man, they sold millions.
We were saying that I'm still getting ripped off. Well, our parents were ripped off by these pieces of plastic, and now we are rebuying them for. I don't know. Won't go into what they cost, but yeah.
Well, I'd probably you're probably looking at least for one with the full weapons, at least £15 to £20.
Yeah,
I reckon.
How much were they when they came out? Do you think about?
Well, I've seen Argos pullouts of them for £3.99 or Tesco pullouts.
That's
and you're
nuts.
But they kind of went a bit crazy with the toys, but we'll talk about that a bit later.
But you were talking about Woolworths. I used to work for Woolworths, and in the back of Woolworths when I worked there, I was a teenager when I worked there, about 16 years old. I got fired from there for not turning up. But they had a stock room in the back, and in that stock room was old stock. They didn't have any turtles.
Baxter stock room.
The Baxter stock room. Totally. But they had this old, all old stock and discontinued things, and I always used to go in there and think, is there going to be any turtles? What there was in there was that game. Do you remember Manhunt?
On the PlayStation.
On the PlayStation,
the banned
it was
one.
banned.
Oh yeah.
They had about 30 copies of that, so I had a copy of that for myself, which was ace. But so you had the cartoon, we had all the voices as well for all these guys.
Yeah, and they lasted pretty much the whole series.
I do love hearing the voice of is it Phil from
Fresh Prince of
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air? I didn't realise that until I started doing some research on him, and I was just like, as if That's amazing.
Can you do your best Krang impression? What the fuck was that?
That was my Krang impression.
My wife does the best Krang impression. She's so...
Go on, I want to hear yours.
I might try and video it tonight.
Wait there,
and
it's
like,
coming up then.
If there's like a little insert here of my wife doing shredder, I'll put it in. But if not, it's because I failed. Come on.
This is pressure.
Go on.
Shredder.
Yeah, I'll get an actor.
It's like
Shredder. That was quite good. I think.
Right.
What do you mean? I was good for that. What was he going to say? Yeah, like I've got really fond memories of watching the Turtles, but hasn't stood the test of time for me personally.
I still love thinking about, like, I used to go to my nan's after school every day.
Yeah.
And like you'd have to watch all the bullshit like Dog Tanya. I hate Dog Tanya.
Fucking shit. Do you remember Doug?
That Doug was alright.
No, depressing.
It wasn't.
It was so depressing.
Disney
yeah, another emo one. At least
But like I was always waiting for that to come on. Like I couldn't wait for Turtles to come on.
No,
and I think it used to be on Going Live in the morning and stuff. Because I never had Sky as a kid, so we always had like.
No, we didn't. Do you remember when Channel 5 came in?
Yeah, man.
And
Spice Girls launched it.
Spice Girls launched it, and then you had Red Shoe Dogs. Sorry,
Dave's
a family
Red
friend.
Shoe Dogs.
Not that I used to watch that. I used to.
Shannon Tweed, like softball porn. She's Mrs. Gene Simmons, isn't she?
Is she?
She's married to Gene Simmons. Yeah.
Lucky woman. You've seen the tongue.
Oh God!
Sorry, we'll cut that bit.
They made every single Turtles figure. Why have they done Kiss Turtle figures? That would have been. They missed.
That would have been amazing.
They did do Rockstar Turtles. So why don't they do Kiss? I might make some, man.
You should definitely do Kiss ones.
You might see a video on this channel of me doing.
Yeah.
Kiss Turtles.
Kiss Turtles.
Who would each member be?
Right. I like this. This is good. Michelangelo, Peter Criss.
Yeah. Who's Ace Frehley?
That's who I was just thinking is going to be. It's not. Yeah. I think he's. What's his name? Tongue.
Gene Simmons.
Gene Simmons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's Raphael that much of a prick.
He's a bit of a fucking prick. Leonardo, Ace.
Ace.
Yeah.
And what's the other one? Paul Stanley.
Paul Stanley. What's the makeup Paul Stanley wears?
Isn't he the Star Child? No. Is he Star Child?
No, he's Ace, isn't he?
I don't know, man.
This is some fact checking.
Yeah, fact checking. Kiss facts. This is the Kiss podcast.
This is
Yeah, he's the Star Child, isn't he?
They look the same.
No, that's Paul Stanley.
Of course it is. Yeah, Ace.
He's the demon, isn't he?
No one wanted to be the cat.
Well, no, isn't like because obviously as they lost members, they changed some of their makeups. I think.
Do you remember when they took it all off? They looked a lot like
no one
the Turtles.
Jesus. No one gave a shit about them when they took that.
So, if we go back to the Turtles, we're going on to Kiss.
Robert Paulson, I think his name is. I think he voiced Raphael, maybe, or Donatello. No, I think he voices Raphael here.
Yeah.
And then I think in the new ones, the recent CGI ones,
he swaps, doesn't he?
He's like Donatello, and I think now he's like the voiceover director for the new one, which is called Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Which
I think the animation looks awesome.
All right.
But I've heard bad.
I think it looks terrible. Like it looks.
The animation is
good.
Sick. It looks good.
But the story to it, I was listening to a podcast last night where they were just tearing it apart.
Well, the style looks like the animation, like I said, looks awesome, but the style is weird. Like Raphael's like this huge hulking beast. Like he's like,
yeah.
I think you could fit all three of the turtles inside of him. And then Leonardo's like the cool one, apparently. Leonardo's never been cool.
Is Raphael the leader in this new one?
And he hasn't got sides. He's got Tom Fu or whatever, like that, or something like that. Those wooden.
What the?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
So,
I probably won't be watching it though, to be fair. I think I'd rather watch these.
But as I was saying before, there's like 4 episodes on here, and it shows like what the show becomes a bit later on, and it's got them all like mutating even further, and they become like monster versions, like a monster Leonardo monster.
And it gets quite dark, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think we'll talk about the films later on, but I think if they were to do a 4th Turtle film in that original line, it was going to be like a next mutation where they mutate even more. Like, I think they, like, Raphael becomes like a raptor version of like a. Yeah, it's crazy, man. Like some really weird stuff.
Damn!
As I said, it gets a bit darker, and like obviously like shows like the Batman animated series was quite popular.
Yeah.
So like you had like quite dark black and red backgrounds and stuff, and like the actual characters have got a little bit harder edge to them and stuff like that. And yeah, it was okay. They got Shredder's not in it anymore.
Shredder's not in
It's like this other villain called Dirge or something like that.
So that one I was talking about earlier, you know, the one where these guys turn up, then you've got the comic book
Yeah, which is this
Turtles. What's this called?
So basically, in 2003 they did like another series which is meant to be a bit more like the original comic book, so it's a bit violent, a bit dark.
I completely wrote this off because I'm a bit of a purist in the sense that that's Turtles to me, this isn't Turtles.
It wasn't too bad actually.
But I really, really enjoyed it.
Shredder's like a robot in it though. Something weird.
That weirded me out, and he's got like I was going to say scrotum, well, Kerrang.
Yeah,
like,
basically.
So he's a mixture between Kerrang and Shredder.
Yeah. But then this one came out basically, I think when Nickelodeon bought the Turtles off Peter Laird, because I think Kevin Eastman had already sold his off to Peter Laird.
I wonder how much you got for that.
Loads of money.
I don't know who it worked out for better. For him to get out when it was still going good.
Yeah.
But like, I don't think Peter Laird's got anything to do with the Turtles now. But I know Kevin Eastman still draws it, and like he still sells like toys.
I
on
think
his
it's
website.
just
He still sells
absolutely
signed toys.
Fucking insane that two guys just sat in
I
a
know.
room.
What
just
are we
like-
doing? We're just talking
Yeah,
about it.
just
We could be
talking.
creating something, but we're just talking.
No, we're going to talk about it. And like the one just drew like, there you go.
Yeah, and then he went, I'm going to do a better one. Then the other one did like four of them.
And that was it. And then you're
Yeah.
onto like $1 billion or pound franchise.
No.
Incredible.
What you want? What you want? What you want on the counter?
But yeah, so when they sold it to Nickelodeon, I think just before they made this, which was kind of like a way of saying, like a last hurrah. So they combined like the
Okay.
original cartoon and the newer cartoon, plus the black and white Turtles, which when that bit came on, and I
it's
first saw it, I was
rad.
like, oh my god, this is amazing. It ends on a quite nice note. It ends with them like drawing.
Can I be honest? I fell asleep before the end.
Did you not see that bit? Rubbish, man. But this is the uncut version, so apparently it's on YouTube or whatever. So
Can I borrow that today?
You can borrow it. I got it for £1 off eBay.
I might just buy it then.
But there was another series before that, which was like a live action series, which is like I think it's made by the people who make Power Rangers. In fact, I think they met the Power Rangers,
Yeah.
and it kind of takes its cue from like the movie, so they kind of look a bit like the Jim Henson ones. But
Which
look
brings us
awful.
through to
to the very first movie, which to
which
me
is fucking incredible.
is the best Turtles thing around.
This is where we touched on this, but where the emo powers of Raphael.
Oh yeah.
Damn!
Come back here! I'm not finished with you! Damn!
Oh yeah, he's totally like what's his name from My Chemical Romance? What's his name?
Does he look
Gerard
like...
Way.
Do I look a little bit like him?
Gerard Way, no.
No.
Why do you want to look like him?
Yeah.
You want to look like
No, not at all.
Fair enough.
Someone actually said to me I look like Gerard Way. This was months ago, and I nearly cried. But
I wouldn't mind having his money, man. Massive rock star. He's a comic book writer. His comic book Umbrella Academy's being made into a film.
But his music is fucking terrible.
Oh, it is terrible.
Yeah. But Raphael listens to it anyway.
Yeah, we
And-
decided that Raphael listens to like shit emo, not
Yeah.
good emo.
This guy over here, he's listening to like Minus the Bear,
Like, yeah.
all the sort of math
Math
rock
rock,
stuff.
bit
Don
proggy.
Caballero. What did we say Leo was?
You said like classical.
Classical music. He's also a massive swat. And really loves his mum.
What's his mom? Has he got?
I,
He's got a dad. Definitely got a
He's
dad. Splinter.
He definitely doesn't love his non-existent mum then. Michelangelo, however, he's into Caius and anything stoner really. He
Yeah.
can obviously eating pizza all the time.
I was gonna say Primus or something, but then I guess that.
Do you know what
kind
that
of
is? That would be his theme tune. If it was like he had a standalone film
It would
or a
what?
standalone
What Primus?
Primus, that'd be like
Yeah.
and then he'd like walk out and like dude.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, if he had his own show,
Michelangelo's Big Brown Beaver.
Yeah. But we're talking about the movies.
Yeah.
And that scene, is he in the bath? When he's
He's being knocked out.
I cried. I think if I watched it now, I'd still cry.
And she draws she does those wicked paintings of them.
By the way, we haven't even
Leonardo looks even more emo though when he's like sitting there all slumped. Don't put the milk in there, man. You've got lilt in there. Or are you putting them in your cereal?
I was going to put it in my cereal. If we're having cereal on the thing, we've got to partake.
Yeah, man. I love this movie. You know who directed this movie though?
Go on.
Remember Take On Me? The rotoscope one. Any music video that I do, everyone kind of sings Take On Me. So I do a lot of rotoscoping and stuff. Everyone takes the piss out of me.
Nothing wrong with rotoscoping.
What's his name? Steve Barron. There's a German version of this DVD that's so much better because it's got the director's commentary on it.
Yeah.
But you can get that on YouTube if you look hard enough. It's worth a listen, actually. Jim Henson was one of my idols growing up.
Yeah.
I love Jim Henson. Like, I was never a massive Muppets fan, but I loved like Labyrinth and...
I was going to say Dark Crystal for me got me into all of it. In fact, I remember being around my granddad's because later, like my uncle, he was around the same age as me. Got like my granddad remarried, so he was like the same sort of age. But he had all like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, all the Transformers, and he used to have everything on VHS. And he'd have like the Ninja Turtles movie, he had it on VHS, and I just remember being around there and watching that movie over and over and over again. And that and the Dark Crystal, and I wonder, like at that age, you don't realise why you're watching something, but it's obviously because that was Jim Henson. The Dark Crystal.
Yeah, it's kind of
like
like vibe about it. Like
there's a vibe
there's
there.
A bit dark. There was something a bit dark about them.
It's like the Transformers movie as well.
The first one. The animated one.
The animated one where like
you're like, yeah, Optimus Prime.
Yeah, see you, man. See ya.
The shitty thing about living in the UK back then was we never got like films straight away. We'd have to wait like 6 months. I think like even like Ghostbusters 2, we had to wait 6 months from when it came out in America to when it came out here. But my dad were friends with the Cypriot family who owned a pizza shop, and my dad worked there, not making pizzas or whatever, but he.
My dad was a pizza delivery.
He was, man.
Is this why you're into the Turtles?
Yeah, no, he built the cold storage unit there and like decked it all out with columns and painted it all up and made it all like it was like a authentic rustic old kind of building inside and stuff.
Yeah.
And like inside there they had these giant turtle figures all on the windows and stuff. So every time I went there I was playing with these giant turtles, just wanting them. If you want those now, they're like £200 a pop.
They're about this big?
Yeah, they're ridiculous prices.
I've only ever seen them recently. I never saw them when I was a kid.
They were the family that like we always used to get films from them. So we got Batman 89 where like if you watch it you see like backs of people's heads, people going to the toilet and stuff like that, and coughing.
Then you have to do the tracking.
Yeah.
The tracking.
That they got.
Turtles before it even came out here. But then I saw it at the cinema, and the version I saw at the cinema was vastly different because they cut out everything that had anything to do with Michelangelo. So when he's
because of his
nunchucks or anything like that. And then that's when you get to the second film, they hardly ever use their weapons at all. And if you notice, like Michelangelo uses sausages and things like that.
I do. You've just brought back a really horrible memory.
So I think they purposely just cut out all the stuff in America just so they didn't have to bother recutting it.
Mental. But literally, like you were saying, everything that was shot dark as well.
Oh,
literally,
yeah. Well, you know they
shot
shot it dark as well, though.
Go on.
To hide like any imperfections in the costumes, because obviously when they're opening their mouths really wide, you can actually see some eyes looking out at you because you can see the actors inside.
I'm gonna have to freeze frame
if
that
you look carefully. So anytime they laugh, like Donatello laughs a lot, you know, with his Corey Feldman.
But I remember reading that Jim Henson, after he saw the movie, didn't want anything to do with it.
Well, didn't he die like quite soon after it?
Was it soon after?
I think
he was going to disown it, wasn't he?
I think he was just concerned that it was quite dark, and but I don't think it's any darker than the Dark Crystal. But I think because it's violent, it's got fighting and stuff, and probably thinking kids would fight each other. But the thing is, whenever we played Turtles in like the school playground, we were all the Turtles, and we fought imaginary people. So as we were the Turtles, we were never kicking each other.
Oh,
we were just kicking in the air. Do you know what I mean? We weren't like
hurting.
So I don't know. In our school, they stopped us running around. If you ran around too much, used to make you stand against the wall. It was really weird.
I remember getting my Pogs. Those were banned.
Pog.
Because the Metal Kings.
Slammer whammers.
At my school, like, I think it wasn't me. I promise you it wasn't me. But people were just throwing them at each other's heads. Those were banned. Monster in My Pocket were banned, which were one of my favourite all-time
Which ones
things.
were Monster in My Pocket? Were they like?
Little bits of rubber shit. I still love them. I've got loads here. But you got the pyramid that you collected them in.
Yeah.
And like, I'm trying to remember the one that was at the top. Obviously, this pyramid, the one at the top that was the rarest.
Are they the ones that got like 4 arms and stuff like that?
Yeah, 4 arms. You've got werewolf. You've got like, and they're all brightly coloured. No, they're all brightly coloured. So you got like orange.
No, I mean like the actual figure. They're not like.
They're all one colour. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's just a bit of rubber. It's like a rubber little man. Like the thing I think of is like little Hammer horror characters.
Okay.
And they're ace. Like next time we do a pod.
All right, we'll do one dedicated to
it. Yeah, I absolutely like just stupid things like that. Do you remember like you had Pogs, you had Tazos.
Tazos, they're the ones that connect together, weren't they?
And I think I had some turtle Tazos or something like that, or at least had the cards. Do you remember the collecting cards?
I remember the ones where you get like chewing gum and stuff like that.
That was it. You get the chewing gum, and for the films, they actually had like scenes from the films.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had loads of that.
I bet you, if I remember, there was like deleted scenes like in those.
Probably just a pair of his nunchucks.
Yeah, but apparently there's a deleted scene because in the movie, like obviously Raphael's the one who gets completely beaten up, and that's Leonardo.
It's true to life, isn't it? If you dress like an emo,
that's Leonardo who happens to in the book.
Is it?
And it's pretty much shot for shot, but it's Leonardo, and he's the one who's put in the bathtub and stuff like that. And they go, instead of going to April's house,
they
go to Casey's, like, not house, but like barn or whatever.
Who plays Casey in the film? Because I really like him.
Elias I can't pronounce it. Cotiers.
These are anamorphic. Anamorphic.
Don't say, because I know how to say it, but you're making me now.
Anamorphic.
Anamorphic's the thing.
Anthropomorphic. Oh God. Wait there. Stop the pod. Anthropomorphic.
Yeah, so these are anthropomorphic turtles.
Right, okay.
Yeah. So like Elias Cotiers, I'm not sure what else he's been in, but I know it's not recently. He was in Shutter Island.
What was he in that?
I always used to think, like when it first came out, I thought it was Robert De Niro, but it was not.
What, Shutter Island?
Yeah, he's the one who I think.
Oh, the burnt
guy. That's him.
Yeah, because he looks like Robert De Niro when he plays Frankenstein.
Yeah. That's why
okay.
But no, it wasn't Bobby De Niro. It was him.
Oh, Bobby.
But I think he's been in like a show like like one of those CIS Miami kind of thing. I think he's in like one of those or like one of those kind of shows.
You've got something down there. The music that.
Oh yeah. My very first record, the theme tune by Partners in Crime,
which is a lot better than the second film's theme tune.
We don't talk about the second one.
Well, we will talk about the second one. But...
Piece of shit, the second one. To be fair, I don't even know who Partners in Crime are.
Alright. I mean,
yeah, but this is my very first find as a kid. My sister took me to HMV in Sutton Coldfield and we bought it.
Do we have that play?
In the back.
Yeah. But I like what they've done on the back here, like the B-side.
Splinter's Tale Part 1 and Part 2.
So tail, like a...
Oh yeah, is that tail?
Yeah.
I didn't spell it like tail.
Fucking missed a trick there.
I've just noticed your dead possums or whatever.
I thought they looked like they were humping, so I had to buy them.
Yeah. Yeah, but we were lucky enough to get Vanilla Ice with the Go Ninja rap.
That was the song. I was trying to remember what the song was.
And they do a dance to it, obviously, because it was the 1990s. It's like have you ever seen California Man?
Encino Man.
Whichever way we record. But they have to do a dance at the end of that. Like in the end of Turtles, they have to do a fucking dance. Sequence like Encino
Mario.
Mario, do they dance? Oh, they do?
Yeah, man. Like
is it Birdie or something that they make?
Yeah, something like that, and it's fucking terrible.
Weird version of Birdie.
Yeah, like there's a lot of weird stuff that
we'll definitely talk about that film more.
Yeah, that is a strange film. Secret of the Ooze. Do you remember watching it when you were a kid and actually, as a child, realising it was shit?
Well, I think it's one of those things where you want to like it because it's the Turtles, so you think, I love it.
Yeah.
But you don't really, you kind of like convince yourself that it's almost a bit like when Batman Forever came out, because I'm a diehard Batman fan as well.
Batman should not have nipples.
No, exactly. But like, I forced myself into liking that film even though I didn't. And I knew I didn't like it, but anyway, again with Secret of the Ooze, I didn't like it. You know, they had Toker and Razor when they could have easily have had Bebop and Rocksteady.
So, Bebop and Rocksteady, two of the best characters.
Oh, they're great.
Like, massive part of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Obviously, they're not in the comic books though. They're in
I didn't realise that.
No, they were
because
great.
I haven't properly read the comic books.
They're great for the
Okay, it might not have looked the best. It might not be this Michael Bay special effects extravaganza. Why couldn't we have had rubberized, suited up
Jim
Bebop
Henson,
Bebop and Rocksteady instead of what are their names?
Toker and Razor.
Who
keep calling Shredder Mommy.
Because Jesus, all these horrible memories coming back.
Mama? They're babies!
So I suppose you could argue, okay, like for the film they're inventing these new characters, but they're shit.
Yeah.
They are shit.
But again, they changed the tone as well. Like, obviously they made it a lot lighter. The first one's quite dark and a bit gritty. I mean, obviously it's goofy. It's about fucking Ninja Turtles that are green. You know,
it's not
so you can't exactly
wind,
say it's serious and dark and realistic, but it is. Like, obviously it's dark for a reason because they're trying to hide the seams and the electronics and the people's eyes inside their mouths and stuff that you can see.
You haven't touched your cereal, by the way.
I'm alright.
I'm absolutely killing this. So,
it's like C&M's finest.
This is my third.
99p or something like that. Yeah, so obviously they had a mandate where they had to make it a bit lighter and a bit brighter for the sequel.
Which, like, obviously with the first one, they had to hide the flaws. Like you were saying, you could see the eyes coming through the mouths.
You probably only can see it more on Blu-ray. Back when we had it on video, you probably couldn't even tell.
Oh, yeah, especially if you got one of your knockoff specials.
yeah, totally. But then, obviously, the second one came out, and there's Toker and Razor calling Shredder Mommy and stuff like that.
Oh,
they danced to Vanilla Ice with him on the stage. Then they fight Super Shredder, who I think is Kevin Nash, and they don't actually fight him. He just grows that big, and his blades grow for some reason because of mutagen. Because that's what happens.
Because mutagen.
Yeah, and then he falls in the river. But you know, of all the things they could have had, Baxter Stockman, they could have had Bebop and Rocksteady.
Man, I would love to have seen Muttman.
Yeah, they get rid of that. Casey Jones isn't even in it.
Who is one of the coolest
he's one of the best
characters ever. So, like, most of the original cast are in it, though, aren't they?
Corey Feldman doesn't voice Donatello anymore.
Right.
I think these are the same. I'm pretty sure one of these actors is, you know, there's that kid Kato or whatever, who like becomes friends with him. He's like a pizza delivery boy.
Yeah.
He's one of the Turtles. I'm not sure which one.
Right, okay.
And he was in the first one as well, but they liked him so much that they brought him back as a character in of himself as well.
But he just looked
weird. They changed April as well.
They did, didn't they?
I think it's Judith Hogue or whatever in the first one. Who I think's wicked. But yeah, it's a different director. But also it took a lot less money as well, because like the first one was like, it was an independent film. So it was like independently funded and stuff like that, and it was like, for a time it was one of the biggest independent origin films of all time.
I'm reading that, none of it's going in.
But yeah, like it was a case of diminishing returns, I think, for each turtle.
And from Secret of the Ooze, you went over to the third one, didn't you?
Oh, I never even watched
that you
it.
Didn't bother with. I watched, felt sick afterwards. I think I threw up. I remember I watched it at Odeon New Street. And I got told off at the back for throwing popcorn for masturbating over the turtles because I love them that much. Me and my friend Tom Cross, we were throwing popcorn.
You were that dickhead, were you?
Yeah, of course.
I get you people.
Yeah.
Checked out all the time.
So we were throwing popcorn at this guy's head, But we weren't old enough to go to the cinema on our own.
Okay.
So we sat there with Carol Cross, Tom's mum, and this guy.
Did she not try and stop you?
She didn't realise. By the way, I love you, Carol, but she's a bit deaf.
Okay.
So like we used to get up to we were really fucking naughty when we were around, like each other, me and Tom. So we're throwing the stuff, and this guy and me and Tom, we used to look
I
older.
bet you were friends with him because his name was Tom initially.
The two Toms, man. The two Toms. There were three Toms. But yeah, this guy got up, sidled up to us, and basically swore a lot at us, and like threatened to punch our lights out. And Carol stood up and
punched him.
Well, no, she didn't knock him out, but told him off anyway. I don't think he realised we were kids.
Oh, okay.
Because it's quite dark in the cinema. But what was he doing?
Was it by himself?
He was by himself.
Watching Turtles.
I think that's why we were ripping him apart.
Because I didn't even like the second one. Obviously, I fooled myself into thinking I liked it, and then by the time the third one came out, I was just like, I think I was done with the Turtles by then.
Yeah.
And
you got into boobs and like
you what?
Got into boobs.
Probably.
Yeah.
No, I think I got into like video games, like Street Fighter and Batman kind of took over, and
yeah, Turtles did become less cool, but like
it's only more recently that I've got back into them. Like when I just want to relive my childhood because I'm that pathetic.
No, it's nothing pathetic about collecting toys as a grown man. But no, like I remember there was a tail off for Turtles, and it was then for me as well. Like I think after that third movie, after I know that they did it in America. I don't think they did it over here. They did the Rockstar Turtle tour.
Yeah, we didn't get that.
And then you started getting like toys that I'm not really bothered about collecting because they just tried to do everything. They did the weirdest and wack. I mean, like the original, is it the 8-back?
Yeah.
And then they got Baxter. Like those like first 3 waves.
Yeah,
I'd say.
they're cool. And
Wicked.
then it's when you start getting Sports Star Turtles and I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just water. It's just watering it down. Really.
Do you know what we haven't talked about?
What's that?
In the first film.
Yeah.
So Raphael goes out in not broad daylight, but at night.
Oh, watches Critters 3 or whatever it is.
I forgot about that. But he's completely like incognito in just a rain mac.
I know.
Like I really
kind of looks like a big turtle.
So yeah, he gets away with walking around as a massive. I don't know.
What are you, some sort of bunker?
But yeah, that's one hell of a disguise.
I only watched it yesterday. That's why.
I was going to say I need to get back on that because I can't. What are you doing?
So yeah, okay. There was supposed to be a 4th film apparently where like they go through even more mutations, where they become like I said earlier, like raptor versions, and I don't know.
I would have loved to have seen that, but it would have been done crap, you know.
Yeah. So instead of that, we got no films, nothing for a while. Obviously, we got the other cartoon. Then we got another movie, which was the CGI movie, which I actually quite like.
Never watched it. Never watched it.
I enjoyed it. I mean, it's kind of like the Turtles have kind of split up. It's meant to be set after Turtles 2, I think.
Okay.
Continuity wise. And the Turtles are split up, and Leonardo's gone to find himself, and Raphael's like a vigilante superhero, and he's got like a costume and stuff. It is quite cool.
It's not black and. I'm trying to think what he'd be wearing.
It is. It's kind of like a black, kind of like
emo sort of.
I wouldn't say it's emo.
No.
The Black Parade costume. But yeah, the voice art. They've got Captain America voices Casey Jones in this. So Chris Evans.
Yeah.
But it's fairly enjoyable.
I just don't like CGI. Like
I know what you mean.
Animated CGI, it's not my.
But it's
my
alright.
thing.
You're not a Pixar fan or anything like that.
Love Toy Story. Obviously, when we first saw that as kids, absolutely love it. But anything that's I don't know. Turtles should just stay 2D, cel animation.
And then you get to these ones, which are the more recent ones, which, well, I wouldn't even call them turtles. They're like hulking beasts.
Yeah, they're pretty big, aren't they?
I mean, I don't hate these films.
Oh,
they're fun.
Do you know what? I'm going to give credit where credit's due. Is it the second one where you have Krang in it?
Yeah, this is like the cartoon come to life.
That's incredible.
Apart from Casey Jones, never wears his mask apart from one scene.
Yeah, because he's too handsome, isn't he?
Well,
it's that Hollywood.
It's Green Arrow, isn't it?
If you're gonna pay for someone's face, you're gonna have to see the face.
Well, I guess so. They got rid of Johnny Knoxville though from the first one.
Johnny Knoxville in the first
Yeah, he
one?
voiced Leonardo.
Didn't they?
Yeah, and then they changed it. But like again, I didn't hate it.
What's your thoughts on her?
Megan Fox.
Mm.
She's alright. I mean, a lot of people are down on her. She's okay.
Yeah.
She's pretty and she can act a bit. But
He likes her, doesn't he, Michael Bay?
yeah, because he's a complete perv.
Yeah, that's what.
Like the very first shot of her in Transformers 2 is like a porn star like bending over a car, and then the second one she's like painting a motorbike, and like bent over in the first shot is a vagina pretty much. It's like ridiculous. It's like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Have a little bit of respect. These are kids.
There's got to be
films.
something there for the dads, though. Do you know what I mean?
That's 1 foot down.
1 foot dads.
But yeah, I mean the CGI is actually pretty well done in it, to be
I
honest.
think
But
it's
I still
amazing.
prefer costumes.
You're never going to beat the Jim Henson
Nah.
thing, are you?
That's the one thing. Apparently, the third film they got rid of Jim Henson. He didn't do well. Obviously, he wasn't around it, but
So was it
The
Jim
company-
Henson's company that did the second one?
yeah, I think so. But even then, you can see the cracks were starting to show
Yeah.
because I think it was a bit shot more in brighter light and more daylight stuff.
Yeah,
so
there
you
was
see
no
the
hiding
scenes a
that
bit more.
shoddy
So,
shoddiness.
did you play any Turtle video games as a kid?
Well, Ollie, I was obsessed by Turtle video games. The first one I played was on the NES, caused me to get calluses on my fingers, and I adored. It was just called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on the NES, wasn't it?
Yeah, was it based on the arcade game or was it?
No. Like, because
Because the arcade was like a 4-player one.
arcade was 4-player. The NES one was one of the hardest games ever. It was just a side scroller. I never got past I don't know. There was a level in it, an underwater level, where either side of you, it was electric, like seaweed,
Okay.
I'd call it. And you have to go through. Not only is it a timed level, it's also you've got the electric seaweed either side, and then you have to defuse about 6 bombs. And
say diffuse, you only got 2 buttons on a NES, so you can't do too much. You just hit it with a weapon.
in my mind, I was there with the wires and I was cutting them, but it was like a scene out of
So
a Lethal Weapon.
I've never played that game until today, where I downloaded the ROM of it.
Yeah.
And I downloaded the Spanish one, so it's like Le Turtles something like that. But like I died straight away. Like I couldn't even jump over the first jump. It was that ridiculous.
It's
Like, I
such a
couldn't do
good
it.
game.
Like as soon as you jump over, there's an enemy there, and so you just hit it and you just fall straight down.
But I really liked it because you can play as all 4 of the turtles. As you die, like your lives go down, and then you play as the next turtle, the next
You
turtle.
press
the next
pause, you
turtle.
can change your turtle. Can I?
Ah.
I did that today, and I was changing to it.
I didn't know you could do
Yeah,
that.
you could.
Well, that's probably why I
5-year-old
never
Tom
won.
never did.
I was diffusing bombs, but I couldn't press start.
Donatello walks around with his staff like this.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like a bit. It's like
And the noise.
Yeah, it's like
Oh. Dun, 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 dun.
See, I never had a NES. I had a Master System. There was no Turtles on that, but I did have a SNES, and on the SNES was Turtles in Time, which is awesome. Such a good game.
It's incredible. Basically, I just want to play that game right now.
It is a good game. Like, I don't think I've ever completed it. Like, I'll get to the dinosaur level, and then I like.
I was doing a bit of research on this last night, and someone's completed it in 18 minutes.
I'm sure people do that, like to do those time runs. And like,
It's nuts.
it's like I used to try and do that with Resident Evil all the time.
I've
And I'd
got.
always die like in the last because you have to do.
I've
Resident
never
Evil.
completed Resident Evil.
What? In the second one, never.
No, never.
What?
No,
Like-
I got too frustrated.
But like, if you
I
never
love the
save it and you
games,
do
though.
it under 2 hours or whatever, you get like bonus characters and stuff.
Yeah.
But I'd always die at the last fucking minute and never. Then I wasted 2 hours of my life.
Talking about speedruns, do you remember Games Master?
Of course I do. You got one down the road opposite.
Which one? Oh
shop.
yeah, oh god, there's a shop down there. Well, Games Master, they used to do the speed run, and they'd do it on Mario. And this sounds like one of those ones, you know, at school when, oh yeah, I completed it in,
Oh yeah.
but this isn't, I did. I beat the top score on Games Master. For
Really?
the speed run. And my dad filmed it on VHS, and one day I will pull it out.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah.
Awesome.
But going back to Turtles in Time, I think this was my favourite.
Yeah, there was also
Turtles
like the Mega Drive version, which was a bit different, called Hyperstone Heist.
But it was a similar...
Yeah, it's pretty. The graphics were fairly similar. And it had the wicked, is it Pizza Time, the theme tune or something like
I
that?
think it is. But do you think you've not watched the third one?
This isn't the original box, by the way. I bought my box would have been completely naked if it existed.
I don't think I've got any boxes for any of mine. Turtles in Time, is it in any way because obviously they travel in the third one through time into Japan in the past? Do you
That's
think
what
that
the third film should have been.
This is what it should have been, isn't it?
Yeah, but I don't think it was. I don't think
It was definitely
made.
not anything like this. This was just rad.
There was also this wicked fighting game called like Tournament Fighters.
Mm.
It's basically Street Fighter but with turtles. Like, so you got Shredder, Turtles.
I played that as well.
The SNES version I think was better because obviously with the Mega Drive you only had like 3 buttons.
Yeah.
So you can get as many, like you only got punch, kick, and then I don't know, special button. Whereas SNES at least
Diffuse.
you got 6 buttons.
Oh man.
So should we talk about toys? So yeah, this is an accumulation of our collections, I guess.
This is insanity made real.
This is called divorce right here.
Yeah. So both our partners are at work. I think me and Ollie might be getting a flat together.
Yeah, I think so.
But yeah, so which is the most recent one out of these you've bought?
For me, out of these, probably this big fella here, which is one of the Mondo Turtles.
This, I really like this. Do you mind if I pick this guy
You can
up?
pick, not by the head because his head will come off.
Oh.
But you can pick him up for sure. He's quite heavy.
He's a brute, isn't he?
But they're wicked. I love them, man, because they're obviously based on the original Peter Laird and Kevin Eastman figures. Drawings. So yeah.
He's gorgeous, man.
He is.
Absolutely stunning.
I got him for a cracking deal as well. They go for quite a bit on there. Because I don't think Mondo shipped to the UK, so you have to get them through eBay or various other channels here in the UK.
Yeah.
But I managed to get one on eBay for quite a good deal.
I mean, there's quite a selection here, isn't there?
Yeah.
Have you got a favourite figure?
Mine, it has to be the original Raphael. It has to be. I know it's probably the cheapest figure, but
For me personally, I think it's going to have to either be Muckman or I know this is later down the series in the toys, but the Mutagen Man.
he is wicked though, and Muckman.
Muckman's incredible.
I was having fun with Muckman the other day with some slime that my wife actually bought me some slime. So while I was waiting for a video to render, I was waiting for hours for this slime to come out of his stomach, and I was sending you
were saying,
pictures as and when it was coming out of its stomach.
it's like most men send dirty photos to each other. I was getting slime photos.
Pictures.
But I just love the sculpt on him. Just like the detail, the same as Muckman. I don't know, it sort of reminds me of a Toxic Avengers.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, well, obviously, like Playmates did those figures, so
Yeah.
they obviously have quite a lot in common anyway.
I mean, it's quite brutal for a kid's toy, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
I mean, I think this is why, I don't know, why we've got the tastes we have. Because I like quite weird.
Well, it's like, I like the Garbage Pail Kids and
all that sort of stuff.
But I just love the sculpts. They kind of got a bit silly towards the end. Like you had characters like Scratch and a Dalmatian dog, and to be honest, I know they're like the rarest and hardest ones to get, but I don't really care about them.
Yeah.
I like the core kind of characters, and then some of the other like villains and stuff. Like, I love the Bebop and Rocksteady sculpts. I love them.
They're hefty as well, aren't they?
Well, they kind of went a bit over the top. Like one leg would be a normal leg, and then one would be a weird leg, and like that's how they kind of started to design them and stuff.
I mean, is there one figure that you haven't got that you want to get?
Oh yeah, I want to get Baxter. I know you've got Baxter down here.
Yeah, I'm a little bit annoyed because his weapon's not complete, but
At least he's got his wings.
He does the job. I mean, I've seen them where the wings aren't there, and
it's funny where they were with toys, because obviously they don't look exactly like they did in the cartoon. But then you've got like the more recent ones, like the S-Fig Arts ones here, that are almost like comic book accurate. And then you've got the NECA ones that came out last year, which are like pretty much stepped off the cartoon screen. Do you know what I mean?
Man, they're incredible.
And then you've got these NECA ones here, which came out about 10 years ago. I mean, these are bootlegs. Like, you've got the ones with the coloured bandanas.
Oh, they're still brilliant, though.
They're wicked, man. I mean, they're made from the original sculpts. I mean, I've got an original NECA somewhere. Is he in here?
Is it?
Yeah, he's down here. got an original NECA there.
And they come with the stands as well. Those are like the diorama type.
They're a bit lighter in colour and stuff, but they're still wicked, man, and they're still just as posable. You can't take their hands off and stuff, which you can with the original ones. But,
yeah.
But man,
there's still a long way to go for me, though. I think I want them all.
You want them all? You want like all of them?
I think I do.
See, I just want the core characters. Like, you don't want like sports star turtles and stuff, do you? Because once you start,
it's getting to a point now where I'm like, I need to carry on with something. I think what I'm going to do
slope, man. You just end up having to
instead of like just getting more, I'm going to go for quality rather than quantity.
That sounds good.
So it's about box ones for me.
Box ones are. So I've got a boxed Raphael at home. I got these ones from Toys R Us before it closed, and they were like 2 for £12, and
I think these are amazing.
They're like versions of, well, they are the original ones, but like the colours are a little bit off. So if you look at where's Raphael? If you look at Raphael there, you can tell the colours are a bit off.
Ah, yeah.
But I mean, they're the same sculpts and stuff, but you know, whatever. You can't argue for like £6. And then you've got these ones that you've bought, which I think for B&M specials.
B&M bargains are.
And they're not bad. I've got one here.
I need to get the other two of these. Every time I go in, they've only got these two.
I went into B&M today. I could have gone for you.
Damn it.
This is my original party wagon. I've actually got a few parts sourced. Frank from the Toy Power podcast actually sent me some parts, but he sent me the wrong size. Oh well.
But that's a wicked podcast.
Yeah, it's good fun, man.
Yeah.
Good lads on that show. But I had to acquire, like, for some reason over the years, I lost all the parts. I just had the shell of it. And then a few weeks ago, I thought, all right, I'm going to clean it up. I've got all new stickers. So I scrubbed it all up nice and clean and didn't realise, because I used Sif like a complete and dickhead. And it's kind of stained the plastic. Which I used on my Ecto 1 when I cleaned it. But then obviously the Ecto 1 is white, so it doesn't show up if
of course, yeah, if you take a layer of that off.
Yeah, so I've completely fucked up my my original party wagon. But I might have to get another body.
Well, do you know what? I'll let you into a secret. I've never owned, and I never did as a kid. Like, you know, you had the sewer set.
Yeah,
I never had that. I never had any of the vehicles. I think I had I was going to say Sewerscape, but you corrected me earlier.
Cheapskate.
But I think that's another thing I'd like to look into. I mean, the only
quite
thing
big
is,
and hefty though. That's the only problem.
This is it. Where are you going to collect them? What shelf is this?
My friend had the blimp, and it was fucking huge.
Yeah, because it's like this, isn't it?
But I know people who've got them, and they've still been inflated from back in the 80s till now. They haven't changed. But I remember when my parents bought me this for my birthday one year, and I remember going to, it wasn't Asda, but it was called Carrefour or Gateway back then. And I remember picking it up off the shelf, and it had the most beautiful artwork on it. I love the artwork of the.
I think that's what it is.
The party wagon.
I know this isn't the original 8, but the artwork on all of them.
Awesome.
I bought Mutagen Man, and he came, and he's not sealed, obviously came like this. But I just love that box art.
I know they've kind of tried to replicate it a bit with this, without the purples and stuff like that.
Yeah. I don't know what it is. But yeah, there's definitely something about those figures. And I mean, you've got a few of the newer style ones in here, have you?
Yeah, we've got some of them. You've got one of the 2012 ones.
Yeah, a very good friend of mine found that in a second-hand shop and gave me that. I was appreciative.
What else have we got in here? No, I think most of them are retro vintage ones, and we've got some of the mutating ones. We've got some of the disguised ones. We've got talking turtles. We've got the shell turtles where you put stuff inside the shells. I'll tell you which figure always annoyed me as a kid. As I said earlier, I never had it as a kid because it annoyed me. Was Shredder, because he can't stand up at all.
No, we were just putting these on the table.
And I'm pretty sure
kept falling
he's
over.
based on this pose. If I can find it, he's kind of based on that pose.
He is,
I swear.
Let's have a little compare. It is as well, isn't it?
Because you know why they did that? I think because they want all the toys to be the same height. So if he had his legs out,
yeah,
he'd be to be fair, he should be taller than the turtles.
Yeah,
because they want them all to be that kind of.
I suppose if you're thinking about putting them in the boxes as well.
Yeah, because because that's the whole point. Because they've got to fit in those same cards. So I think when they've done.
I've never looked at his face. He looks like he's had a pretty hard night.
He does, man.
He's had a bit pretty wrinkled, and he's had some cat. I don't know, man. I was going to say, saying that.
I think She's got the worst face. She looks like she's been huffing paint fumes. Look at it. Look at that, man. What the fuck is going on with that face?
You saying about Ket? I tell you what, those ones where the turtle shell opens up.
Oh yeah,
perfect for hiding your drugs.
Okay. Do you know what? When I worked at Game,
Yeah.
we had someone brought in a PlayStation 2, and they had like a little compartment where apparently, like, eventually a modem would have gone. Found drugs in there, man. Whether or not they were
you all
legals.
snorting lines off the side.
Oh yeah, man. No customers were served that day. But yeah, we had condoms inside Game manuals and stuff, like gross stuff, man.
Oh Jesus.
That's why I'm glad I don't work in retail.
Yeah, I am. No.
But yeah, so yeah, that's our turtle figure collection. I guess that kind of wraps up our turtle
obsession.
Obsession. I guess.
Yeah.
Well, it'll never end.
It'll never end, and I think this will be an ongoing thing with the cast because we're going to carry on collecting.
Oh, totally.
So
Totally.
totally.
I don't think, like, I don't know about you, but I'm not really into the newer kind of turtle stuff. That's cool though. I mean, that's
I think
for
it's
someone else.
It's for the next generation,
Yeah,
isn't
so-
it? And it's just nice that kids maybe have a chance to, although it's not the same cartoon we grew up with, but it's got the same basic principles of the ones that.
So
we
what's your
used to
goal?
love.
What's your next goal?
Not to get divorced.
Not to get.
So
I want to get Leo, Donnie, and Mike on the carded.
yeah,
To go
I
with my Raph.
want my Raph.
I won't get any more carded ones then.
Raph.
Same.
All 4 of the original Turtles on card. Then
Saying that, the 10-pack would be nice. Just getting one of them carded.
I think just as I carry on, just to swap things out, not get.
Yeah, you don't want to get too precious about it. Like, just have things you want. Don't get things for the sake of it. It's just. Like,
I mean, I'd like to move on.
Curating a collection, I guess, is the term.
That's the term, man. I mean, I've started now. What I'd like to do is just carry on and maybe look at other franchises. So He-Man, that's the next one. I mean, I've got all my old He-Man toys, but they're trash.
I haven't got any, man.
They're trash.
I think I had 3 He-Man figures and they all snapped at the waist.
How did it snap out?
Because they were just all hung. They were just hung by a piece of elastic, weren't they?
They were, weren't they? I've still got like what else? So there's like He-Man, Transformers for me.
Get them Chinese knockoffs.
Yeah. Chinese knockoffs, but I'd love the original ones. Yeah. I just want to carry on collecting and just revisiting my childhood, really.
You know, got to relive that childhood because it's
Yeah.
not getting any better.
Until I have a child.
Oh, God. Then they'll be forced to like turtles.
Well, that's what I'm doing. I'm collecting, so
Oh, okay. Okay, I get you.
that's my excuse.
Yeah, Caroline, that's our excuse.
These are all theirs.
Yeah.
Have you got names?
They can look, but not touch them.
Yeah, don't touch it. That's Dad's. But
I'm gonna have to make sure I count all my figures though when I go home.
I was going to
'cause I'm
say
sure
you're going
you'll-
to definitely be
Maybe a
missing
few in your back pocket.
Yeah, there's already.
Which one have you got your eye on?
Well, I forgot his name now, but I
Worm.
really love Worm.
My friend Sean bought me that from America, and he got it from a flea market. I was like, "What's a flea market?"
I don't know, but these turn up in them.
Oh yeah, you're supposed to pull this, and then his eyes kind of pop out.
That reminds me of the Ghostbusters figure. You know the.
Oh yeah, the fright features.
That's it. Yeah. I mean, that's another case of like a similar sort of sculpt to Muckman or Mutagen Man.
Oh yeah, these are a bit
these
later
are
in the
the
line. I
later
think,
line,
but
aren't
so if
they?
you look, yeah, they've got like he's got like a normal foot, and he's got like
A tentacle.
tentacle foot and stuff like that. So yeah, if you look at the original, like the early line, they just had normal feet, but then they kind of went a bit
Wild.
mad.
And they don't stand up very well either.
Yeah, well, because they're a bit old now, their joints are a bit loose, like that.
A bit like mine.
I mean, she's the worst though, man. Like my one is just like this one's actually good.
Oh,
What was that?
that was a
Okay.
good.
Need to find. Oh, it's alright. Landed in my cup. Yeah, my one can't. Yours is alright. Mine just flails around. Like
Do you know what?
a rag
I
doll.
never had her when I had my original Turtles, and I've not really bothered about her now.
No, there's a
I've
better
just wanted her
version.
because
There's a better one with a better sculpt.
is it the one without the stripe? Or is
Yeah,
that,
I don't know. There's one definitely with a better head sculpt.
so if you do that, she's more.
like
Hellraiser or
Exorcist, climbing
Exorcist.
down the stairs.
It's quite obscene, really, isn't it? There you go. But sorry, I'm having.
I think she's like the only girl toy in the whole.
It was quite a sexist market back then, though, wasn't it?
When they did the Toon Turtles, I hated those. Look at those.
They sucked.
They look scary.
I never had one of these either.
No, they were a bit rubbish, but the head sculpts.
I wish you had the thing to make them talk.
I know, just over time, things just get lost, don't they?
But I kind of like his face. I think that's
It's
quite.
got a trident for some reason. Don't know. So yeah, also other than these as well, I have been collecting some art toys based on turtles that people have made themselves.
Oh, of course, yeah.
So this is from an artist called Ian Chappelle on Instagram. He's known as Where's Chappelle, but they're beautiful.
These are beautiful.
They don't move.
I don't think they need
but
to.
They are incredible. There's this other guy on Instagram, and I've forgotten what his name is, but what he does, he takes casts of these figures and creates his own figures. So he's like done a zombie Michelangelo.
I've been looking at his Instagram.
I'll post some pictures on top of here and some links, but his is amazing. But these are like hand sculpted. Again, they don't move. You can put the weapons in. Yeah, you can put the weapons in their hands. He's done Donatello as well. Sadly, I didn't know about him when that came out. But
they're wearing snazzy trainers as well.
Yeah, that's where Chappelle's like trademark. So anything he does, they will have trainers or certain kind of shoes.
I really like that.
So like Spider-Man, he's done Spider-Man, they've got Nikes and stuff like that. But he does limited runs, so he only does like 100 toys. And he does them in various ones. So I've opted to have them like the original figures, whereas he's done like movie ones or black and white ones and stuff like
sick.
that.
Well, he's done a really, really good job there.
Yeah, they're lovely. I mean, this is the latest one. It's just beautiful. But yeah.
Absolutely stunning. And what was his name again?
Ian Chappelle, but he's under Where's Chappelle on Instagram.
Nice.
And then, but I have also made my own as well.
I own a few.
Yeah, so this is my very first one. It's not very good. He's a bit bulky. This is the very first one I made.
More of the movie Turtles now, Michael Bay.
So there he is. That's my first Leonardo that I made. So made out of resin and stuff.
He's rad.
Then I didn't like that one, so I made another one. I guess this is a bit more NECA inspired.
He has got weapons, but I had to put them away because they kept falling out.
So that was like based a bit like on the action figures. And then I actually then full on casted a Raphael.
This is my favourite one.
And I made a black and white with a red bandana one. And then the weapons didn't come out very well, but they were cast from the NECA Raph.
And he's got his little tail as well.
Oh yeah, I gave him a little sculpted tail as well. Because I think the turtle should have tails.
And you can buy Ollie's toys.
Oh, you can, yes, on I Make Toys on Big Cartel.
And talking to Beavis and Butthead, he does Beavis and Butthead. What are the other ones you've done?
Those are the only ones on my store at the moment, just Raphael.
Raphael,
so I'm going to put a few of these up soon.
Really worth getting them. So that about wraps it up. I hope you've enjoyed looking at some of our toys we've acquired.
Some of our memories of
some of our memories and
musings, our secret views.
Yeah, musings.
Yeah, musings.
But yeah, next time I think we're going to be looking at Beavis and Butthead. The toy collection isn't as big, but the memories are. Massive part of our teenage childhood.
Yeah, totally.
I think that's where a lot of our sense of humour comes from. So yeah,
wraps up the first episode of.
Fuck. Old enough to know better.
Old enough to know better. We'll see you later. Bye.